Wow.
What's going on, my friends? Welcome to episode 84 of the Gay Gay Podcast, where we talk everything New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, national, and international sports. Hosted by yours truly, Aaron Grassani, joined by Alex Reich, Marcellus, Murdock, Sam Morell, and special guest, Henry Eisenberg. That's why I got that right. You can listen to the podcast right now on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. And you can watch the Soundcast right now on YouTube. Also, show up on social media at Get the Game On P. With all that said, it's time to get your game on. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, that was probably my most sloppy intro yet.
I've never seen you mess up an intro before. This is a first. And I was actually going to comment saying like, oh, wow, is it me or is your intros getting louder and louder? Like you literally were like, what's going on, my friends? And I went like, oh, whoa, okay, listen, I'm already turning deaf. I don't need to be more deaf right now.
Yeah, don't worry. It's a rare slip up. I'll do better next time. But guys, let's not be around Busher. We got another guest around us, our second one of the season. Currently a senior in a high school, is committed to, I believe, the University of Michigan. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
He's a writer, podcast host, covering college basketball, also for Big East Coast Bias, as well as Busting Bucket. Henry Eisenberg. Did I pronounce that last name correctly?
Yes, you did. Thank you for having me
on.
on.
Oh my God. Henry, you don't understand. I never, ever get last names right. Oh, this might be a first. But Henry, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Adam. Thank you guys for having me on. I'm excited to talk some college basketball. I mean, we're only a few days removed from the end of the season, and I'm feeling it. So it's good to just get back and start talking more about it. So I'm just very excited. Thank you guys for having me on.
No problem. And we're just gonna you know what we're talking. You guys know what we're talking about. We're gonna talk about the national championship game.
Please no. No. I'm salty still.
Why? Because you picked UNC in our bets. Because you bet on UNC.
Fuck off, Adam.
It was just a question.
Okay.
So anyway, Kansas. Fine, go ahead, Sam.
So Henry, for you don't know, we have this betting segment after every episode, and I made a troll bet because I was in the lead against all of them. So I made a troll bet saying UNC would win against Kansas. And at first we were about to win, and then we blew that 16-point lead. And now I'm like, what's it, fourth place for the betting segment? Spoilers.
He was in second place, and he fell out of the top three because of that troll bet.
How long does it go for?
We just started the second season of our season. I won the first season.
Oh, okay. So you got time to catch back up, Sam. I like the boldness, and it was a great game.
Yeah. Kansas won 72-69. It was honestly North Carolina took that huge lead in the first half. They Kansas came all the way back. So Henry, we brought you out here to talk about college basketball. So we'll let you do what you do best. Break down this game for us.
So the beginning of this, UNC impressed me multiple times. They got punched big time twice. And the first time was at the very beginning when Kansas went on a 7-0 run. Kansas did something similar in the Final Four when they went on an 11-2 run against Villanova. And that early lead really separated them for the rest of the game. But UNC came right back, and they took a 13-12 lead, I believe, and ended up carrying it all the way to a 15-point lead at halftime. So what the Tar Heels were able to do, especially, they're not the deepest rotation. Puff Johnson gave them great minutes throughout the Final Four, but especially in this game. But we saw in the second half, and sorry to Sam, but Kansas was just the better team. And Ochai Agbaji, who won most outstanding player for the Final Four, was the rock of this Jayhawks team throughout the season. And although he's struggled a bit, in the first 3 or 4 games of the tournament, he really came on in the last couple. And I think his shooting ability and making some early shots really helped Kansas loosen up. And that early run they had at the front of the second half also propelled them. But the other but that second half, I think that there was great play from both sides, and that's what made this game so entertaining. I mean, the fact that UNC, who was counted out in the middle of the season, was able to put together this major tournament run. Once again, very impressive. I really like using that word with this team. Hubert Davis did a great job coaching this year, but Kansas's star power, and they're able to defend at the end. And I mean, just the shot making they have on that team. Remy Martin, so I thought going into this, Remy Martin has always been kind of the X factor, I would say, of this team. They didn't really need him in the first game because of their great shooting, and he contributed to that. But in the second game, when they needed a big spark off the bench, he came in and gave it right to them. And that's what ended up, I think, propelling Kansas to this championship. And also, I feel like you can't go without talking about David McCormick when talking about this Final Four run that Kansas had. He was the best big man on the court, and that says a lot because the other team had Armando Bacot, who I'm sure you've heard this stat thrown around. Shout out to David Warlock, but Bacot is the first player in NCAA tournament history to have a double-double in 6 games in the tournament. So very impressive from him, but I honestly do think David McCormick was the best big on that court. And so the combination of the shot making, the big play, the defense all came together, and it was all in favor of Kansas. And that's why Bill Self was cutting down the nets for the second time in his career.
Yeah, David McCrory, he was a big part. I remember watching that game, and he got some really big buckets late.
Yeah,
and that ultimately helped them close out the game. Sam, did you have a question?
No, actually, I was gonna add on to the thing that impressed me though about Kansas was the way they approached the second half. Like most teams, when they're down by 15 or 16 going into a half, they're thinking in their mind, okay, yeah, we lost this game. There's no way we're coming back. There's no way we're doing any of that stuff. And the point in the UNC, who had the 6-point lead, they were confident. They're going to the second half saying, okay, we can play a little bit more relaxed. We can now maneuver a little bit better, but we still have to play serious. Kansas didn't have that mindset of they're going to lose. They had that mindset going in of we're just going to keep attacking. We're just going to keep going at them. Going to keep attacking. I think that's what impressed me most about Kansas. They didn't fold when they're down by 16. They just said, we're going to keep attacking. We're going to keep attacking. And whatever happens, happens. We're just going to keep going at them. And I think that was their biggest advantage going to the second half because UNC kind of, I felt played a little bit too relaxed. They just were okay, we're up by 16. They're not coming back against us. We won the tournament. And Kansas kind of was you didn't win yet. There's 20 more minutes. In those 20 minutes, we're going to erase that 16-point lead. That's what really impressed Kansas. Just the fact that their mentality was they're just going to keep attacking. That's what was impressive for me. And that's what I think really led to Kansas ultimately winning, their mentality of just not giving up.
Yeah, Sam, you bring up a great point with Kansas. And I think after their Sweet 16 win against Providence, or maybe it was their Elite Eight win against Miami, in one of those two, Self and Agbaji talked about just that and how at some point during that game, I believe it was the first half of that Miami game when they struggled, they were playing like they were down and they were not playing their game. Instead of just settling in, continue to play their game no matter what the deficit was, because some teams, they'll get nervous and they'll rush everything and they'll just be playing to get back into the game instead of playing their game to win the game, like you said. So I think that I completely agree with you. I think mentality is huge, especially on as big of a stage as the Superdome is. You got 70,000+ fans in attendance. So to just strap in and continue to play your game and not wane away from that, I think was definitely a huge key.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Henry. Alex, you wanted to go?
I think that Kansas was definitely the most dominant, and I was really surprised how well coached Bill Self had that team coming into the national championship, and I didn't see this coming. I thought that UNC would have a better chance of getting better opportunities to get more points in the paint and things, but Kansas's defense was the more talented one, and I think that moving forward, their team is going to be a special program, and I'm really curious to see what happens.
No, yeah, just because what's it called? You bring up a great point, Alex, and this is how I took it. Because you guys remember what I said on this podcast before. I said, whoever wins that Duke UNC matchup going into the final game is going to win the entire thing. And it was because that Duke UNC game was one of the most hyped up matchups. So you win that
All
game.
time.
Yeah, it's like you win that game, you have all the momentum going for you in that final game. You just have all the momentum. So really, when UNC won, even though I knew Kansas was the better team, like we all knew Kansas was the better team going into the game. It was just the fact that UNC had so much momentum after that Duke win, after they win over Duke, that I was just like, it's UNC's to lose, really. Because after you win a matchup like that, a historical matchup like that, usually you have all the confidence in the world to say, oh yeah, we're beating these guys easy and all that stuff. So Kansas really showed them listen, we're more talented than you. Just because you won over Duke doesn't mean anything. We are still the better team. And I think Kansas really did deserve this win.
Oh, no doubt.
All around, Kansas this entire tournament showed us one thing, and that's they are a tough program. They teach their kids to play tough basketball. No matter if they're down, up, whatever. They teach their kids until that buzzer sounds or until I pull the plug, you better play with everything you got and you better play with our style of basketball. And that really showed on the biggest stage in March Madness.
Sam, I think you hit the nail on the head. Henry, I wanted to ask you another big aspect everyone's talking about was what point comeback? It was the largest ever comeback in the history of the championship game. I think it just goes to show I don't think it's necessarily a reflection of how it wasn't necessarily more of a negative reflection of UNC, more than as a positive reflection about how good this Kansas team is. I'm gonna be honest. They were my pick to win a national title. I'm gonna be honest. They were my pick. I just looked at that team and that team is just that team is just so good, and I really feel like that also played the factor. They're just a more talented team, and they came to play in the second half. They managed to flip the switch, and look what happened. So Henry, I definitely think that played a part in that. But still, you got to think, largest comeback in college basketball history. Whoa.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Adam. I think that UNC, the fact that they were able to get here, I mean, whatever happened in this game, even if they got blown out, I still would have, like, you still have to look at this season and be like, that was a complete positive. And that goes back to that Final Four win they had against Duke, against ending your rival head coaches, the best head coach that Duke has had, one of the best head coaches to ever do it, ending his run as his rival. I mean, that's 100% one of the best wins in program history. So in a year that Coach K is expected to win it all, not it's not really the expectation, but it's definitely like looming, and so to be able to make it farther in that year, I know you're not comparing yourself against someone, but this was definitely Duke's year, and UNC spoiled that. Kansas, on the other hand, they had some unfinished business from 2020 when the season got canceled due to COVID. And Sam, like you said, they deserved this. They ran through this tournament. They were just clearly the best team on the court each game, and they showed it. And Adam, to your point about the comeback, I think that Kansas's ability was summed up in that comeback. And we talked about the mentality that you have to have despite being down 15 at halftime. And they came out of the gates and they just pounced on UNC. So I think that this definitely says the comeback obviously doesn't say positive things about UNC, but I think the result of this championship game, you can look at both of these programs and say they had a very positive season. So I feel like you got to be glass half full with these programs.
I completely agree. I actually had your hand raised. Go ahead.
I have a question for Henry.
Yeah.
So if Duke were to play Kansas in the national championship game and have the opportunity to play against Abaji, do you think that Kansas would still beat them?
That's a good question. And I can't see Kansas losing to any team in that field the way they were playing. I think whoever came out of that Kansas-Villanova game was going to win it all. Villanova was pretty hindered, though, due to the fact that they had lost Justin Moore in the round prior. But that Duke-UNC game, it felt there was no way I could see Kansas losing.
Yeah, Henry. Yeah, Henry. I also wanted to ask you, obviously, talk more about UNC and like their run, because like you said before, even though they lost, even though they lost, it was still an incredible run for them. And like you said before, even if they had gotten blown out, you still, like, as UNC guy, look back positively on the season. The fact that they like took that big of a lead in the half, and they were at one point, everyone thought that they were going to be the ones to run away with it. Like, you just got to look back at this run by UNC and just go and just tip your hat to them.
Yeah, I mean, this was a team that you look back even to Selection Sunday and people are saying, do they really deserve to be in the tournament? And so to get out to the first game against Marquette, blowing the doors off of them, a 33-point win, I believe, and then you go play number one Baylor, who everybody thinks is going to win, defy those odds. You take a 25-point lead that gets cut down and you have to win in overtime, which also was very impressive, because I thought when Baylor came back there and UNC was without Brady Manick because he was ejected, I thought that Baylor was going to run away, but UNC held in there and won that game. And then moving on to the Sweet 16 against UCLA, another team that has been very solid. I mean, they knocked off in the round of 32 the reigning national champion, and then in the Sweet 16, team that was in the Final Four last year. And a couple players I'd like to highlight, obviously Caleb Love, his shot making, talked about with Remy Martin, the shots that Caleb Love was able to hit on this run, and the times he was able to take over. I mean, in that Sweet 16 UCLA game, he scored 25 points in the second half. So to be able to just have that guy that can take over, and then you have RJ Davis, who feeds right off of that and who can also take over in the backcourt. And then you've Brady Manick, who is a human torch on the wing. I mean, he gets the ball off so quickly, and it goes in more times than that. And then as a big, to have Armando Bacot and to have him dominate the way he did throughout this run. Like I said, the 6 double-doubles, he had a double-double in every single tournament game. To have him dominating on the boards and giving you second chance opportunities, it was great to see this Tar Heels team come together. Obviously, the final result, not what you have liked to see, but only one team wins, and 68 teams make it. So to be one of the final 2, nothing you can hang your hat on. And to all North Carolina fans, this is more than you could have asked for in the first year of the Hubert Davis era. This guy was being questioned if he was the guy in the middle of this season. So to pick up right where Roy Williams left off, great sign for everybody at UNC.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
So what's it called? We've talked about Kansas, talked about UNC. Now let's talk about there was some other things that happened in March Madness, and I just want to give this question to everyone. UNC, we know, overachieved. Like, they were the team that was the upset, the underdog most of the time. I feel like they overachieved massively compared to what they were supposed to be versing and everything like that. But from all of you, I want to know, what team do you think underachieved in the tournament? What team do you feel like should have done a lot more than they did?
Well,
that's a good one.
Sam, I'll give you an obvious answer off the bat. Well, Alex and Adam, I'll let you think. It's got to be Kentucky. I mean, to lose to a 15 seed, obviously St. Peter's ended up making it to the Elite Eight, but to have the potential, and a lot of people thought this team could win, and I do too. And I think if you replay the tournament, they have a good chance of winning. So, I mean, to have the National Player of the Year in Oscar Tshiebwe on your team, to have a great guard in Ty Washington, and then also Severe Wheeler, who I think was very underrated this year as a playmaker, transferred from Georgia. And then rounding out, you have Kellen Grady as your sharpshooter, like Brady Manick was to North Carolina, bigger guy. So this team had the parts. It was tough to see it go to waste in only the first round. But in underperformances, I think you would have to put them at the top of the list.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I would say Gonzaga, but still, I definitely think Kentucky underachieved more. Because Gonzaga, I thought was going to make the Final Four, and they made it to the Elite Eight or Sweet
16.
Oh, Sweet 16, yeah. Yeah, they lost to Duke. Yeah, speaking of, I want to ask you this question about Duke, Henry. After that devastating loss to UNC, how will that how that loss you remember the legacy of Coach K? Because to lose, obviously he's one of the greatest of all time, but to lose in the first ever matchup between these two rivals, to lose your arch rival like that, man, that's gotta sting. That's gotta sting.
Yeah, I mean, legacy-wise, it's a brutal loss. I mean, from losing his last game at Cameron Indoor to losing in the fashion he did to his rival in their first ever meeting in the tournament, let alone the Final Four. It's tough for the legacy. I mean, he will always be one of the greatest coaches of all time, but there will always be that but. There will always be the but he couldn't beat his rival in the final 2 games they played. Looking forward, though, into the future, this Duke team is not going to skip a beat. And I'm very excited to see them next year, actually. They just added today 5-star recruit Tyrese Proctor from Australia. John Shire is going to be an amazing coach. He just hired the now former Elon men's basketball head coach, Mike Schrage. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, as his like head assistant, but it doesn't count as an assistant coach. Kind of confusing, but they're going to be building something there. Like, just because Coach K is retiring doesn't mean that Duke is going away. And I honestly think they're going to come out better than ever. So legacy wise, North Carolina will always be able to hold this over the Blue Devils, but looking forward, you still got to be very excited to be a Duke fan.
I share exactly the same. Obviously, I mean, as far as Coach K's legacy, and yeah, this will be one of those losses that it's gonna be like the 2004 Yankees blowing a 3-0 lead to the Red Sox. This is gonna be something that that'll never necessarily live down, but at the same time, the program has to be excited for the future. The program has to be excited going forward, I feel.
For sure.
Sure. Any other questions for David? All right, David, we're just gonna give it a floor. Do you have any final thoughts on the tournament? Any thoughts on college basketball? What's your outlook for next season going forward?
I'm very excited for the future of college basketball, especially next year. Seeing Houston and Arkansas at the top is very refreshing. But I'll send you off with this. First off, thank you all for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
Oh, no problem.
Guys. I'll say this because I know this is talking about college basketball. So for all college basketball fans, enjoy the transfer portal. I mean, I can't believe I see hate on it. Because we're in the off season of college basketball, the main topic will be the transfer portal. There's over 1,000 players in it, and all 1,000 players are about to embark on a new opportunity and have the chance to be a star. And you look at these players in the lower or mid to lower major programs who have excelled, and in years past they'd have to stay on their team, and it would be very difficult to get to a bigger school. But now you enter the transfer portal and you're getting recruited by the top programs like Gonzaga, Duke, Kentucky. So I think that it's a beautiful place, and I'm excited to see how it comes together. But for now, I really like where the transfer portal is heading. And to anyone that's saying oh, these kids have a good season and then they're just going to leave a team, it's the same with coaches. You're going to take the best opportunity possible, and that's what you should do. So thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, Henry, we thank you so much, Carl. Great to talk a lot of college basketball. It was great to hear your thoughts on national championship at college basketball. It was great having you on.
Yeah, thank you.
Before we let you go, just a little plugger. Tell us where all of us just can find you.
You can all find me on Twitter at Henry E. Eisenberg. The Eisenberg is Eisenberg.
Perfect. So Henry, we thank you for coming on, and you're welcome back on anytime. Don't be a stranger.
For sure. Thank you, Adam, Alex, and Sam.
All right, that was Henry Eisenberg. Again, you can find him. On Twitter, and you can check out all of his work at at Busting Bracket. You can check out all his work at Busting Brackets. You can find him at Henry E. Eisenberg on Twitter. Go check out his work there. So, but guys, before we get to our hot take of the episode, number one, he's joining us late today, but we're so happy to have Marcellus on the show. Join us a bit late, but Marcellus, how you doing?
Yeah, how you guys doing, man?
We're doing good. So before you're obviously gonna do the hot take this time, do a process of elimination, but we'll elaborate on it later. But before we do that, we gotta recap the first round of Masters and Alex's Masters storylines. Alex, are you prepared?
Yep.
Take it away, my friend.
So it was a very interesting first round at Augusta National. And Tiger Woods looked great out there, even though he had that accident in the past, but we are looking forward now, and he's been up and down the fairway, and I think he definitely has the momentum going into tomorrow to definitely dominate. He shot 71, and he is 3 strokes back of the leader. As of now, the leader is, I think it's, let me see. It's Sung J M, and Cameron Smith is second overall. So I think that if he stays consistent all throughout second round, I think he can be in contention throughout the weekend. And I'm hoping that he has a very good round tomorrow. And I think that everything is shaping up to be success. And what were your takeaways, Adam?
Yeah, I watched some of the first round. Number one, who was that girl I earlier that made that shot? I remember I posted it on our Twitter page. Joaquin Neal, man, he caught it was right before the green, and he caught a slope and just hit it in for an eagle. So that was insane. And he's currently right now tied for third place at -3. And guys, number one. Well, it was announced earlier that Tiger was actually compete. The fact that he's competing itself is something to be proud of. He's doing legitimately good. He's right now after the first round 1 under par, tied for 10th place. He has a legitimate shot to win this thing. Yep. Maybe not a great shot, but he has a shot to win this thing. And the fact that he even has a shot after, as you said before, he's getting up there in age, and after that accident, I mean, it's just something special, man. It's just something special. It's just gonna go down as another chapter in the amazing history of Tiger Woods' career.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very special 72 hours. And I'm really hoping for the best for Tiger Woods. And it looks like that he is going to be entering tomorrow with some confidence, with a lot of confidence coming into round number 2. And I'm really excited for it. And I hope that he does well.
Yeah, he's currently right now tied for 10th place at -1. So that's 71 strokes. That's 1 under par. So he's currently 4 behind the leader in first place, and he's currently 3 behind second place. So it's definitely good. It's been a very fun Masters so far. I mean, Sam Morell, did you want to get any Masters thoughts in?
Well, I'm just glad to see that Tiger is back. Yeah, I'm really just glad to see that he's back and doing well. All that he's happened, I think he definitely deserves it. That's all I really got to say on it.
Yeah. Nothing else you really can say. All right, but Alex, great job with the second to last master storylines, because the last one because on Monday's episode that'll be the last one because the Masters will be wrapped up. It's definitely gonna be interesting. Yo, imagine if Tiger Woods actually wins the thing. We might actually not do might do a master storylines. We might just make that the lead.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
Tiger tees off at 1:41 p.m. tomorrow.
Eastern time, 1:41 p.m.
Yep.
I'll be covering 1:40 1:41. I won't be covering it. I'll be at Yankee Stadium then, so I'm not gonna watch.
I'll be at Sands Bank Park.
That's right. We also got we were gonna say this at the end of the episode, but spoiler alert, me and Alex will be heading to the Yankees and Phillies opening day tomorrow for both teams. But we'll elaborate on that at the end of the show. So, but guys, you know what time it is? It's time for the hot take of the episode. So here's the thing, guys. Chris isn't here. Michael isn't here. Me, Alex, and Sam already went. So by process of elimination, that leaves only one person that could do his hot take, and that guy's name is Marcellus Murdock. So Marcellus, the floor is yours.
As long as
There's
you're
a
not
hot
as
take that I
blasphemous as
have. What were you gonna say, Sam?
I was going to say, as long as you're not as blasphemous as Adam, you should be fine.
No, I think Alex is gonna
mine's
love
are
this
not
one.
that blasphemous. Come on, Sam.
I really think Jason Tatum is gonna go down as one of the best players in the NBA.
NBA history?
I say currently, right now, I'm putting him over Giannis, and I'm gonna get into why. I'm glad you have that facial expression. I'm gonna get into why. This man, Jason Tatum. First of all, let's just make it noticeable how the Celtics weren't even that good to start off the season. A lot of people were quick to write them off. Everybody was saying, how far they're gonna get. I really think this guy Tatum, he's even having a better season than Jalen, and it's kind of crazy because him and Jalen are supposed to be the go-tos, but really Tatum has been picking up slack. He's just been playing with a lot of poise, energy. Just looks really, really good, and I really think that Boston is probably going to be a sleeper team in this playoffs. I really think a lot of people don't really see that.
Okay.
What you guys think about that?
Okay.
I'm putting them over Giannis.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
Can I go first? Can I go first?
I'm putting them over
Go
Giannis.
ahead, Seth. Go ahead.
Please go first. Marcellus, I said before this segment, sorry, don't be more blasphemous than Adam. And you somehow did that. So let me just remind you who Giannis is. Giannis is a two-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, going to win Defensive Player of the Year again. He's an NBA champion, a Finals MVP, All NBA first team, no debate about it. All-star starter, no debate about it. He's the second greatest power forward, and if he wins a chip this year and another Finals MVP, he's going to be passing Kevin Durant on the all-time players list because of his accolades. He's going to be number 13 all-time. You're telling me Jason Tatum is going to be number 13 all-time? Because remember, Giannis is still just in his first year of his prime. He's going to win another MVP. He's going to win another Defensive Player of the Year. That's going to give him 3 MVPs, 3 DPOYs. Jason Tatum can't just do it on the offensive end. He needs to do it on the defensive end, and I haven't seen that from him. Plus, right now, people are debating if he's even on the NBA first team. That's an actual debate. So, do I agree with you where Jason Tatum will go down as one of the all-time best basketball players to ever play? No doubt about it. He has a chance to be a top 25 to top 30 player of all time. But to say that he's better than Giannis or gonna be better than Giannis, he would have already been better than Giannis if that's the case.
Look at Giannis's team though. Look at who Giannis has
Look
around him.
at Tatum's team. Look at Tatum's
That's what I'm
team.
saying. But if we're comparing, the Celtics they're not on the same level as the Bucks. You look at that
The
roster,
Bucks
you can't
have
tell me they're on the
Jaylen
same-
Brown, Al Horford, Grant Williams,
but-
Marcus Smart.
Okay,
All right,
Look,
Marcellus,
I'm not saying Giannis doesn't have great players around him. He does, but you're acting like
Marcellus, I have a question.
Teams like a
I
bunch of scrubs.
I have a question. I have a serious question for
What's the
Marcellus. Would you rather have Jaylen Brown on your team or Chris Middleton?
I'm taking Jaylen Brown.
Okay. Would you rather have Marcus Smart or Drew Holiday?
See, that's a tough one, and I'm gonna really tell you why. Because offensively, Drew, no doubt, is a better player. But defensively, yeah, I'd say you look at the accolades. Yeah, Drew is a better defender than Marcus, but you can't knock out Marcus Smart though, man. The guy plays with hustle. He plays with heart. You know what I'm saying? He wants to win. He shows you that desire.
So let's just say,
you know what I'm saying?
that,
Like, I
let's just say
feel
that
like
one's
Drew
a
doesn't
tie.
have to do it.
No,
Drew has Giannis.
That's what I'm saying. Let's just say that's a tie. Let's just say that's a tie, and Jaylen Brown is over Chris Middleton. Are you taking Robert Williams over? Or are you taking Brook Lopez over Robert Williams, who's been anchoring that Celtics defense?
No, I think Robert Williams is better.
Okay,
than Brook.
so Jaylen Brown is better than Chris Middleton. Marcus Smart and Drew Holiday is a wash. Robert Williams is better than Brook Lopez. The only two that are left are Jason Tatum and Giannis. So who are you taking?
You said Jason Tatum or Giannis?
Those are the only two that are left because the other two starters are a wash.
Right now, you got to take Giannis because let's be real, if we haven't seen a player of his caliber in a minute, just the way he can do both things on the end of the ball, you can see how tall he is. Like, it's incredible. He just added the 3-ball to his game. You know what I'm saying? That's really the only thing that he was missing.
Yeah, the Kobe fadeaway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not knocking Giannis and saying what he hasn't done and what he can't do for rest of his career. You know, I'm not knocking that down. But look, Giannis is 27. Yeah, you're right. He's still in the brink of his prime. Yeah, that's right. But look at Tatum. Man, Tatum is 24, and you got to really look at what Tatum's been doing for the Celtics team. It's kind of just like how Giannis been anchoring this Bucks team. You can't tell me that Tatum isn't anchoring the Celtics team.
No, I'm not.
Obviously, they have
Jaylen
Brown, but you can't tell me that Jaylen Brown is very consistent enough. I mean, he's always picking up. You know what I'm saying? Tatum slack. Tatum is always going to be the number one go-to.
No, I agree with that 100%. That's not my thing. My thing was we just made a consensus that basically the Celtics have a better team than the Milwaukee Bucks. They have a better team. It's just, I'm sorry, Milwaukee Bucks fans, it's just factual. Jaylen Brown is better than Chris Middleton.
Yes.
I was shocked when Jaylen Brown didn't get in shows for an all-star selection. I feel like that was blasphemous. That was robbery. Robert Williams and Marcus Smart are in the DPOY conversation. And then the other two starters for each team, they just get washed out. I don't know who the fifth starter is for the Bucks. I don't know who the fifth starter is for the Celtics. But that just means Giannis has to do so much more than Jason Tatum, because Jason Tatum can at least say, okay, Jaylen Brown, I can rely on you somewhat. Marcus Smart, I can rely on you somewhat. Giannis can't do that all the time with Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. Like, literally, there were times where Chris Middleton, and I'm not even lying, you can look back at the playoffs when people were saying Chris Middleton is the Batman of the team and Giannis is the Robin. Chris Middleton would score 40 points one game, and the next game he would come back and he has 8. How do you score 40 points in a game, and the next game you come back, you score 8 points?
It happens. It
to
happens to the best of all these guys. It happens. But look, here's my thing too. Going on with the Marcus Smart thing, you do know he's averaging 1.7 steals per game right now. I'm not saying that that's a big deal, but it kind of is. For a guard, that's pretty damn good, I would say.
No, and that's why I said he's in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation.
Absolutely.
With Robert Williams. But my thing is, Giannis, this is the best way I can put it. And Kendrick Perkins, sometimes I can't stand him, but these last couple takes that Kendrick Perkins have been doing, he's been spot on. Giannis isn't looking for the top 15, top 10 spot. He's looking for the number 1 spot. He's looking to sit down at the table with Jordan, with LeBron, with
You think
Kareem.
he will? At the end of his career, you think he will?
He has a chance. He definitely has a chance right now. Like, we're all talking about like LeBron versus MJ. Next 3 years, especially if he wins a chip this year in Milwaukee again, we might be talking about, is Giannis the new Jordan, or is Giannis as good as Jordan? That's what we might be talking about in the next 3 years.
So let me ask you,
never going to be that.
Let me ask you this: do you think Giannis, when it's all said and done, is going to be recognized more than LeBron is? Is he going to be better than LeBron? Accolades wise, everything,
Okay.
career, and his career.
This is how I answer that. Could he be better than LeBron? Yes, he could be better than LeBron. But is he going to be more recognized than LeBron? No, because LeBron did way more outside of basketball than Giannis did. Like, LeBron isn't just, like, that's what people need to realize. LeBron isn't just an amazing athlete. He's also just an amazing figure. Like, he's going to be the one NBA player that, like, people turn towards and look at. So people are still going to put him number 2 over Giannis, even if Giannis has more accolades. Like, it will not matter. LeBron is going to stay number 2 all time, no matter what. Unless Giannis passed Jordan, which I don't see it happening, but right now he has on the path to having at least the potential to do it. I don't see Giannis passing LeBron. I can get what I mean.
Let's also go ahead. I'm gonna just say, let's also keep this in mind. Those first couple of seasons when Giannis first got in the league, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was okay, but he wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't good.
You know what I'm saying? He really didn't start peaking until 2016 when he came back big as hell. You know what I mean? Now let's look at Tatum. The moment Tatum got in the league, averaging 13.9, 15.7, then he goes up to 23. Giannis was only, it took Giannis until 2016 to even average over 20. You know what I'm saying? So that's 3 seasons in the league where he wasn't averaging 20. From the moment Tatum got to the league, he was an impact.
Oh no, yeah, no.
That's all I'm saying. That's how I look at it.
No, yeah, that you're definitely correct and on the spot with that. For me personally, I just see it as like Giannis came into the league without any experience, nothing. He was just like, oh, he's a big body. He's a big body that could learn how to play basketball. And he's developing his game like Michael Jordan did. Because you have to remember, Michael Jordan, in his younger days especially, was mostly a run and dunk guy. Yeah, he had the mid-range to an extent, but let's be real. Jordan was like, he's going to get a layup, he's going to dunk it, he's going to play good defense. That's how Giannis started when he became good in 2016. He's going to get a layup, he's going to dunk it, and he's going to play good defense. Like before that, 2014, 2015, there's no debate. He was, in my opinion, he was terrible. Both those years, he was absolutely awful. But after that, he's been nothing short of great. That's all I'm saying.
Let me ask you this too. So you switch players. You put Tatum on the Bucks. You put Giannis on the Celtics. Do you think Tatum can win a chip with that Bucks team?
No.
No, not really. Just because, again, it's like Jason Tatum can rely somewhat on Jaylen Brown. You can't rely on Chris Middleton unless it's a big moment. But here's the thing: in a big moment, I would want Jason Tatum to have the ball more than Chris Middleton. So Chris Middleton basically just gets washed out. That's the thing.
Plus you put Giannis on that Celtics team. Oh my god.
You think they win? You think they win?
If you put Giannis, if you swap Giannis and Tatum, the Celtics, in my opinion, become easily the best team in like the East.
Here's the thing: it's like
I don't know about easily, but I mean,
I don't know about easily. I mean, there's still the Nets. The Nets have the healthy Nets team with Ben Simmons, KD, and Kyrie is nasty. So I'm not gonna say easy. But,
well, maybe not easy, but they're up there. They're up there.
No, yeah, they would definitely be up there, and especially because now Giannis would have to less work on defense.
Which team would be better, like the Celtics if they had Giannis instead of Tatum, or the Bucks right now?
Well, I would. Here's the thing: I would say the Celtics, just because
I'd probably say Celtics still.
That defense. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that defense! You have Marcus Smart, Giannis, Robert Williams,
no one
Jaylen
scoring.
Brown. I wouldn't be surprised if no one would actually break over 100 against them. I am not. That may sound blasphemous, but I don't even care. Like, I feel like no one would break maybe like 110 to like 100 on them, just because like you wouldn't be able to go inside. You wouldn't be able to shoot you wouldn't be able to shoot an open three. And their head coach, that's the one thing we're forgetting. Mike Budenholzer is amazing. He's an amazing, phenomenal coach, doing an amazing job. We all know how good Mike Budenholzer is. That guy on the Celtics, what's his name? Who's the head coach for the Celtics right now? What's his name? Doesn't matter. Head coach of the Celtics, he's doing a lot of work. Like he's helped elevate that team. And especially he had big shoes to fill from Brad Stevens. Like we're forgetting that. He had to fill Brad Stevens' shoes, and he's filling them amazingly well. So even though the Celtics lost tonight, we also have to remember tonight, Jason Tatum didn't play. Marcus Smart still had 7 threes on them. Jaylen Brown still had a triple-double on them. The Celtics are dangerous. But overall, I still put Giannis over Tatum just because Tatum has the better team, but more importantly, Tatum doesn't have to do that much compared to Giannis. Giannis literally has to work all on defense.
That's debatable.
All on offense.
It's debatable.
All right, guys, we gotta start like wrapping
it's debatable,
this up.
But we're gonna wrap it up.
All right. Marcellus, that's any last post game out now. All right. Are you good? Are you good?
Y'all better improve.
All right. Marcellus, your hot take is over, and I mean, here's the thing. I think this is some like Skip Bayless like thing, because here's the thing what Skip Bayless usually does. He makes like valid points, like he would like talk stuff, and he would make valid points, and he would use those points to make a blasphemous conclusion. And Marcellus, I think that's exactly what he did here. I think a lot of the points you made about Jason Tatum are valid. Like Jason Tatum is like at worst a top 15 player like in the league. And he has a chance, he has a chance to go down as a legitimate stud in the NBA history. The problem here is that you're using those words to say he's better than what is right now at worst, a top 3 player in the sport, arguably the best player in the sport right now, in Giannis Antetokounmpo,
He is
NBA
the best player in
champion.
the world. What the hell?
And I said arguably the best player, and at worst top 3, but we'll debate that later, Sam. But MVP, like Finals MVP. Did he win the Finals MVP? I'm pretty sure he did, but whatever. Champion. 2-time MVP, am I correct? He's won 2 MVPs, right?
Giannis has won 2 MVPs, 1 Defensive Player of the Year, a championship, a Finals MVP.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's a 5-time, going to be a 6-time All NBA first team, and then I think this will be his 6th or 7th All-Star game.
Yeah. So you use those posts to say that could or could potentially surpass Giannis, and that's just that's not just a hot take. That's just John. So sorry, Marcellus. I'm going to have to disprove this one. I'm sorry.
It's a hot take for a reason.
Okay, so
there's a difference between a hot take. Here's a phrase. Here's a phrase I like to use. There's a difference between a hot take and a wrong take.
Okay, so first of all, Marcellus, again, I'm going to give you credit for this. You definitely did make this a hot take. And I wouldn't go as far as what Adam said of you're doing a Skip Bayless route, because Skip Bayless is just utterly blasphemous. Like he said, Steph Curry isn't a top 20 player, yet Bill Walton and James Harden is.
We're not going to talk about Skip Bayless anymore.
So yeah, but this is all I gotta say. I'm disapproving. It wasn't a terrible take. You did fix it up at the end, and I did like that. But ultimately, I just can't agree. And it's for 2 reasons. One, defense. I haven't seen the level of defense. I've seen the level of offense. He has the same level of offense as Giannis. I'm not going to dispute that with you. That'd be an idiotic statement by me to say that. The defense. Giannis's defense is just otherworldly. I haven't seen that from Jason Tatum yet. So until I see it from Jason Tatum, I can't put him on Giannis's level at all. And second of all, guys, we keep forgetting one teeny tiny thing about Giannis. In a closeout game, he got a 50 piece. He had 50 points, 15 rebounds, 5 blocks. That might be the greatest closeout game in NBA Finals history. So until I see that from Jason Tatum, the clutchness and all that stuff, I saw it against the Cavaliers. But again, that Cavaliers squad was LeBron, and I don't remember anyone else. So until I see that on an actual team, I can't put Jason Tatum above Giannis, especially right now. I cannot put Jason Tatum above Giannis. So I'm sorry. I have to disapprove. Jason Tatum could reach that level, but at the moment, I just can't see it happening.
All right, Alex, last up.
I disapprove.
All right, Marcel. Sorry, your hot take is a unanimous disapproval. Your record is now 1-1 to the season. All right, so
Yeah, it could be worse. You could say that Sean Mark is, the best one of the best GMs of all time.
I didn't say it was one. No. Okay. I didn't say it was one of the best GMs of all time. I say it was one of the best GMs right now.
And that was a blasphemous statement by you. Thank you. Next.
I can't believe that, guys. It's all good.
Traded away James Harden for Ben Simmons, aka 2.0 street clothes. Hey, buddy,
I
you
would
good there?
debate you right now. I would go off on you, but I don't want to waste any more time because we're way past the clock. So we're just gonna move on. Sam, I'll deal with you later. But it's opening day in Major League Baseball, and obviously the Yankees haven't played it. They're gonna play tomorrow for opening day because of the rain out. So we can't really talk much. I mean, we are gonna talk Mets, but the game as right now the game isn't currently over. It's the bottom of the seventh. Mets are currently up 5-1 over Nationals. So we'll talk a little about that later. But one big takeaway from Yankee land is a lot of people are wondering, when is this Aaron Judge extension gonna get done? When is this Aaron Judge extension gonna get done? And right now it's it's 14 hours to about 14 hours as we're recording to first pitch, and as right now Aaron Judge has been signed. So I'm just gonna give some quick thoughts here, because as right now it's reported they're still negotiating. We don't know how our part there. I was listening to the K show as I watch the K show all the time, and guys, Michael K said some very interesting stuff that he's hearing. He heard from he has two different sources. One of them is saying that the Yankees have made an offer to Aaron Judge that he would be so good that he would be crazy to turn it down. And another guy is saying that the Yankees made Aaron Judge a super basically underwhelming, insulting offer to Aaron Judge that there's no way he's gonna accept. So and that's two different sources. So as right now, we don't know we don't know whether or not the Yankees will have locked up Aaron Judge as all terms. So I'll give some thoughts to this, and Sam, I'm sure you're gonna get Sam. I'm pretty sure you're gonna get involved in this. Is that I feel like there's risks and reward to both sides for getting an extension done, because if you're Aaron Judge, obviously Aaron Judge has said before, he's been on record, he wants to be a Yankee for life. That's it. He said on record he wants to sign law. He wants to be a Yankee for life. But at the same time, Aaron Judge knows his value. Aaron Judge at worst is a top 10 player in the sport. You can't name 10 baseball players, at the very least position players in the sport right now, better than Aaron Judge. The guy is just a perennial MVP candidate. Every single year, he's an absolute stud. Great glove, hits for average, hits for power, good
Is DeGrom better?
He's that's we'll talk about that later, Sam. Marcellus, just so you know, Sam said some real blasphemous stuff about Jacob DeGrom last episode.
I was joking.
What he said.
Marcellus, I was trolling Adam the entire time by saying how bad DeGrom is, and he was taking it seriously.
By the end, I knew it was a joke. By the end, he said Jacob DeGrom is the John Wall of baseball.
And it was really funny. Nah. It was really funny. Nah. Adam went like, "Oh nah, okay, no."
I'm saying before, if you had said that if Marcellus was on last episode, he would have roasted you. But even if you were joking, which you were, but getting back to Aaron Judge, I said, he knows his eye. He's one of the best players in sports, so he knows if he's gonna want a big time offer, if he feels that whatever the Yankees offer him, if he feels that he could get more in free agency, then he's probably thinking why not? Why not test free agency? Why not test free agency and get the best offer possible? The Yankees don't match, then hey, they don't match. But on the flip side, there's a lot of risk involved too, because the one concern about Aaron Judge is, can he stay healthy? Now he played. Now he was played healthy all of last season. Finished near top 5 MVP when he had excellent seasons last year, and he was healthy all year. And he was healthy as rookie season too. But 2018 he had injury issues. 2019 had injury issues, and in 2020 he had injury issues. Now, a couple of those were fluky injuries. I remember one time he got hit on the wrist, and I believe another time that he got injured on a play. So there have been some flukiness with his injuries, with his injuries. But but at the same time, that has to be in the back of Aaron Judge's mind that like, hey, like, what if I go out there and like get injured again? What if I have like another season where he like struggles with injuries? That's gonna like lower his asking price. That's gonna lower his asking price. So that's probably why Aaron I was just thinking there's a lot of risk for him too. And I'm pretty sure the Yankees are looking at the same way. They're thinking like they're probably debating between, hey, we could they think, hey, we could like if we pay this guy like right now and give him like this big contract and he gets hurt, then all of a sudden that contract's not gonna look good. But on the flip side, what if Aaron Judge like stays healthy and has like another MVP caliber season? What if he has another like a season where he hits 50 home runs? Now his asking price is gonna skyrocket, and whatever Aaron Judge is asking for now, he's gonna ask for even more, or going into next season. So there's definitely like a lot of it's definitely very very interesting. But I said before, I think if you're the Yankees, like within anything within reason, I think the move has to be that lock up Aaron Judge all the time, because you cannot risk laying Aaron Judge free agency, Sam. I mean, you just can't.
No, yeah, especially because you have to remember it's a contract year for him. Mm-hmm. Next year, he could get a new contract if he doesn't sign the extension. Mm-hmm. And for all of us sports fans, we know how this works. Their contract years are going to be their best years, because they're going to play their ass off to get big money. It's what all the athletes do. They play their asses off to get the big contracts. And once they get the big contracts, then they go back down to like where they were before. That's how it always works out. So Aaron Judge is going to have a way better season, if not win MVP this season, potentially, just so that he can get that big money. Because let's be real, Adam, he wins MVP this year. How much do you think he's going to ask for?
He's going to ask for at least 8 years, $35 million per. He's going to ask for 8 years, $30 million per. I'm not sure what that comes out to in terms of math, but he's gonna ask for whatever money he's asking for right now. He's gonna ask for. He's gonna. Yeah. So he might ask for 10 years. He might ask for 10 years. Now I don't think he'll get it because of his age, but he's gonna ask for like 8+ years.
Let's say 8 years. Let's say he's asking for 8 years right now at 25 mil. I would do it.
I said
right
before.
Now. I would do it right now. Because by the end of the season, I have a feeling, unless injuries get in the way, he is going to ask for way, way more. Like, I just used $10 million. We're saying 35. He may ask for $45 to $50 million per year if he wins MVP. And teams will pay for that. That's the thing. Teams will pay him that money. So you can get him right now for cheap. I would match him. Because while it may seem expensive right now, trust me, in the long run, it's going to be very cheap. Unless, again, he gets injured. That's the only thing.
I think that's the big factor. The Yankees are probably thinking of, well, what if he gets injured and then like we just paid him more than we could have. But if they're the Yankees, you have to think about the alternative side. What if he goes out there and balls? Whatever you were trying to get, whatever he was asking for before, he's gonna ask for like that much more or after.
Because you also have to remember, when I mean injuries, I don't mean like a right wrist or a broken left leg. I'm saying like if he has a disastrous injury like a torn ACL, a torn meniscus, torn Achilles, that's what I'm talking about in terms of injuries. If you're thinking, oh, what happens if he breaks his right wrist again? All right, there's 8-9 months in a baseball season. You're gonna worry about 4 or 5 weeks in 9 months.
Yeah. He would still play over 100 games.
Yeah, it's like he's still going to play over 100 games. It's not like the NBA where it's like, oh, you break a bone, you're missing 20 games. It's like he still is going to play 100 games. So, yeah.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and this is like, I feel like this is the Yankees. This is the doomsday scenario for the Yankees. What if Aaron Judge has an MVP caliber season, but they don't win the World Series, and then some team makes Aaron Judge an offer he can't refuse, and he leaves a free agency, or even worse. Steve Cohen, the Mets right now, Steve Cohen's the new George Steinbrenner in town. What if Steve Cohen makes him this big time offer and he goes to the Mets? Could you imagine the PR hit that the Yankees would take? Could you imagine the outrage for the fans? You think back a couple of years ago, that outrage when the panic when they didn't sign DJ LeMahieu was bad? You thought that was bad? The fan base would. I can't even imagine what the fan base would do if that happens.
But here's the thing. Even though I'm a Yankees fan first, imagine how nasty that Mets team would look. DeGrom, Aaron Judge. Who else is on the Mets team right now? DeGrom, Aaron Judge, Marcellus.
Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, Max Scherzer.
Oh my God, they would have an all-star team as a regular team. The Mets would, I'm not even saying the Mets
and Marcellus would be partying, and me, and Michael would just be crying.
No, you know what would be worse, though? You know what would be absolutely worse?
Yeah.
If
he goes to Houston?
Yep. If he went to the Astros.
Yeah, if he went to the Astros, if he went to the Red Sox, that's just the type of thing that I just feel like the Yankees can't risk doing that. I feel like the Yankees can't risk doing that.
He goes to the Philadelphia Phillies, and then Alex throws a party on us.
Oh my God. Alex, what would you do if Aaron Judge signed with the Phillies? What would you do? On the episode where we talk about the sign, what would you do?
I would go nuts.
Also, I'm gonna say, Sam, you thought Alex was insufferable before? Oh my God, imagine how insufferable he would be after. He would never let his limits down.
He's going, if the Sixers beat the Bucks in the playoffs, it's going to be bad for me. Trust me, I know.
If the Sixers beat the Nets in the playoffs, oh my God, I might have to take that episode off.
No, because Alex knows better. The Sixers are supposed to beat the Nets. The Sixers are not supposed to beat the Bucks. So if they beat the Bucks, that's going to be way bigger.
Yeah, but getting back to baseball, Sam, I wanted to ask you, since I said before, for the priority right now, sir, I think anything within reason, the exercise Aaron Judge too. But at the same time, we do have to put in the quotation marks within reason. What would be as of right now, what would be your take it or leave it off to Aaron Judge?
I take it or leave it off it?
Right now.
I'm sorry, I said my take it or leave it off it. I'm like, wait, what the hell? My take it or leave it offer would be 25 to 30 mil, 6 years. That would be my take it or leave it off it. 6 years, 25 to 30 mil per year.
Yeah, mine actually would be a bit higher. I think right now my take it or leave it would be like 35 years, $35 million per year for 7 years.
You said 35 years. I'm like, damn,
I said
35
million
years,
dollars for 7 years,
35.
which would be like which would be 7 years, $240 million.
No, but if he makes 30 mil over 6 years,
Yeah.
I think he might be the highest paid player in the league then.
He'll be one of the highest paid players in the league. And he deserves to be one of the highest paid players in the league because he is one of the best players in all of baseball.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 30 over 6 years. Listen, if that was me, if I had Aaron Judge's skill and that was me, I would take that offer immediately.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's an amazing
35
deal.
years, yeah.
35 years making 35 million. I would be crazy if I didn't take that.
If I said 7 years for $35 million per year, which would be like a 7-year, $245 million deal. That would be like if that gets it done, like then like if I'm the Yankees, I don't do it. But at the same time, the Yankees are gonna try to get Aaron Judge for cheaper because that's what the Yankees do. They like because that's how negotiations work. Like why would you pay Aaron Judge that money if he would sell for like less than that? But if Aaron Judge you're thinking the same thing, why would I settle for 7 years, 245? Why would I settle for like 6 years, like 6 years, like $225 million per? Where I could get like if I could get like 8 years or more of that in free agency. So
like, here's the thing though. Aaron Judge also is, you have to make sure Aaron Judge is also thinking, what if I have a worse season?
That's also
and the worst case scenario for Aaron Judge. What if I have a worse season, like a way worse season, but my team does better than last season? That's a nightmare for Aaron Judge, because then it shows, oh, Aaron Judge actually isn't that valuable compared to some of the other players on his team.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a nightmare for Aaron Judge.
That could be,
and that's what the Yankees need to program into his brain, saying, "What if you have a worse year, like Donaldson carries the team, or some of the other players,
or Stanton carries the team."
Yeah, what if that happens? What if Aaron Judge chokes in the playoffs? That could be disastrous for him. So we're gonna see how this all unfolds. But Aaron Judge needs to remember, he can't control. He can control the narrative somewhat, but if he controls the narrative the wrong way, it's not going to look good for him.
Yeah. So
I would get his money's worth right now rather than risk it all and then lose it all.
So Sam, let me ask you right now. Obviously, like 35 years, that's it aside. But if you're Aaron Judge, let's say I'm the Yankees and you're Aaron Judge. If I offer you right now 7 years, $245 million, would you take it?
Absolutely, because that's more than I should be making.
Yeah.
Honestly, if, like I said, 30 mil over 6 years, that's an amazing deal. Anything more than that is just more money in your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 7 years, $35 million, I think that's a great deal for both sides because Aaron Judge, he's getting his money's worth. He's getting paid over he's gonna be paid as one of the highest. He's gonna be one of the highest paid players in baseball, and I think it's a great deal for Yankees too. Because 7 years, even when the contract's over, Aaron Judge will be like what 36, 37. He'll still at the very least still be like he probably won't be a star anymore, but he'll still be like a productive. He should still be at the very least a Major League Baseball player or a productive player like at the age. So I feel like that would be a great deal for both sides.
Imagine a trade goes down. Mike Trout for Aaron Judge.
Oh my God. Bombshell. Like when I go to Yankee Stadium, all of a sudden I'm like, where's it? I'm like, oh, okay, where's Aaron Judge? Oh my God, what's Mike Trout doing here? What, they made a trade? Oh my God. Imagine that.
It's still insane to me that the Angels have arguably the two best players in baseball right now.
Yeah.
And they still are horrendously terrible. I never thought I would say that in my life. That they are so bad that even with the two best players in baseball right now, they are still in last place. Adam,
Los Angeles Angels, if you're listening to this, you are officially the turkey of the week.
Like, guys,
I'm all serious. The Angels, they better surprise some people this year, man. They better start getting their shit together, if you know what I mean.
Imagine Mike Trout has an MVP season, and the other guy,
Shohei Ohtani has an MVP season, and the Angels still finish under 500.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel if the Angels don't find a way to contend with these two studs, then they'll never live it down. Like, we'll never let them live it down.
I would try to start a trend of hashtag free them. Hashtag free them Angels.
Hashtag free Trout. Hashtag free Ohtani. Hashtag free the Angels.
Yes.
If you're an Angels fan listening to this podcast, we apologize.
Angels fans, you are not terrible. Your team management is.
Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna give it. We'll wrap up this Aaron Judge talk with this. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. By the time this episode goes up, is Aaron Judge is the extension signed?
I hope so. I doubt it.
I hope so, but I'm gonna say no. Michael K said on his show that he thinks the extension is gonna get done tomorrow, which I have no idea. I have no idea what's in his head. I don't know if he's hearing anything, but he said he thinks it's gonna get done by tomorrow, which I feel like that's the best case scenario. Like, would I necessarily be shocked if it happens? Not necessarily, but if I were to bet, I would say no. But I feel like that has to be the best case scenario. Could you imagine because that would be the perfect way to get the season started? Like, hey, we've signed him long term, we've named him captain, and let's go. That would be the perfect is out, because if this drags on into this season, obviously, if you're a professional player, it's your job to block out the noise, to block out the distractions. But at the end of the day, that's easier said than done. You can't tell me that this won't be looming over Aaron Judge's and Yankees at least a little bit, for better or for worse. But yeah, that's pretty much all the Aaron Judge. That's pretty much all the Aaron Judge talk for now. All I'm gonna say is I hope he gets signed. Do I think it's gonna happen? Right now I'm leaning towards no. Will I be shocked if it happens? No, but that's basically what I'm gonna say. A little bit of New York Mets talk. Marcellus, we're gonna give you the floor to talk some Mets here. They're currently right now leading 5-1 over the Washington Nationals, and honestly, it's a good win. But I feel like if you're a Mets fan, the Nationals are going to be terrible this year. This is a team you should beat.
Yeah, we should beat them, but you know what? I'm going to take all my wins with pride. I'm going to be humble. I mean, we have aspirations this season. We should see what happens. I'm not going to go too far and say World Series or anything. But, I think we should make the playoffs at least.
Yeah, if I said before Marcellus, if the Mets don't make the playoffs this year, then there's gonna be issues. There's gonna be issues right now. As right now, scores 5-1. The bottom of the eighth inning. That's at Washington, so they need one more foot lane to close out. So for all we know, like Edwin Diaz has come into the game and they could collapse, but hopefully that doesn't happen. But as right now, it's 5-1. P. Alonso had a great game. He went 2 for 4. He went 2 for 4. Lindor got hit. Ross Cano actually is having a really good game. He's on 2 for 3. And if you guys could get any sort of production out of Ross Cano at this point in his career, then I think as a Mets fan, you ultimately have to take it. McGill was great on him. He went 5 innings, 5 shutout innings, just allowed just 3 strikes out, striking out 6. Jeff McNeil had a great game, going 2 for 4, 1 RBI. As right now, the bottom 8 are saying the game's heading to the top of the 9th. So yeah, we'll definitely. Yeah.
I was about to say if we can get something out of Cano, at this point in his career, that would be great. But I'm not, going into the season, I wasn't expecting much out of him.
If Cano hits 250, with what, maybe 10, 15 homers, plays the defense every other day, I feel like if you're a Mets fan, you would take that in a heartbeat. Am I right, Marcellus?
I most definitely would. Most definitely would take that in a heartbeat.
All right, before Alex, did you go ahead?
So I got a question for Marcellus.
Go ahead.
What is your prediction for the rest of the series against the Nationals?
Oh, we're gonna sweep them.
I think you have to sweep them. You feel like or at the very least take 2 out of 3. Because I would say I wouldn't say you have to because it is you are on the road, but you should at the very least take 2 out of 3. It's a 3-game series, right? Oh no, it's a 4-game series. My bad. It's a 4-game series, so you should at least take 3 out of 4. We should at least take 3 out of 4. Again, I wouldn't necessarily say sweep because it's really hard to sweep a 4-game series. You should try to sweep because the Nationals are going to be are supposed to be not that good this season, but you should at the very least take 3 out of 4. All right, but we got one more before we get to before our bets. Before we get to that story, Alex, did you have anything to say about the Phillies?
Oh, there was a news that came out. 1 second. So Alec Baum and Bryson Stott both made the opening day roster, and this will be huge for the Phillies offense because I like how Alec Baum fits with the lineup, and this gives the opportunity of a young Bryson Stott with the ability to hit as well, and I think that he can pitch in some great hits for this squad, especially in the later innings, and what they need in order to win. And it's going to be very entertaining to watch, especially opening day, which is tomorrow. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do.
Definitely. It's gonna be fun to watch for both opening days for the Yankees and the Phillies. But before we get to our bets, one last story here. Alex, Sam, I think we're torment Marcellus here for a bit. You want to know why? We gotta talk about that Knicks game last night. Once again, the Knicks blow up. That's not earlier in the season. They blew a 28-point lead. This to the Nets at Madison Square Garden. Now in their second game at Madison Square Garden, the Knicks blew a 21-point lead to the Brooklyn Nets. So a couple of takeaways from that game. Number one, the Knicks are trash, which we knew it. I'm gonna ask Marcellus. I'm gonna put you on the spot about that later. But if you're the Nets, obviously the fact that you were even down that game, like in that game in the first place, is reason to be concerned. Now, granted, they're coming off a back-to-back, so give them a little bit of slack there. To come off a back-to-back. I'm happy they got the win, but the fact they were even down in the first place to a Knicks team that, as I said before, is not that good. It is a little bit concerning, but at the end of the day, I will ultimately take the win because as of right now, the Nets are currently gives them the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference, which would give them which that's ultimately what, as a Nets fan, which is ultimately what you need. You need at the very least the 8th or the 7th seed. As right now, they have an outside shot to get the 7th seed, but there's 2 games left of the season. They would ultimately have to win both of them in order to lock that up. Especially the game on Friday. The game on Friday. They're facing the Cavaliers, the only team ahead of them, because that's gonna be a massive game. Because as right now, those Cavaliers hold the 7th seed. So if the Nets can manage to beat them and jump ahead of them and ultimately try to lock up that 7th seed, I feel like that would be huge because if let's lock up the 7th seed, you get home court advantage in the first playing game, and worst case scenario, you also have the home field advantage in the game for the 8th seed. So either way, that game, yeah.
Here's the thing, Adam. I would rather the Brooklyn Nets have home court advantage, but then lose that first game.
Really?
Just because if they win, they go up against the Milwaukee Bucks. If they lose and then win, they go up against a better matchup in the Miami Heat.
Yeah, which you said before, they would gentlemen sweep them.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Here's the thing. It's easy to think that way, but here's the thing. What if that's the Nets plan and you ultimately lose the second playing game? Then your season's done. Like you'd rather face the Bucks in the first round than not face them at all. So that's another thing you've got to consider.
No, not really. Just because what's going to have a bigger impact on KD? Him getting swept by Giannis, and then Giannis becoming the clear better player in the world, or KD not even making the playoffs? And now we're still debating. Well,
at that point, it's like pick your poison. At that point, it's like pick your poison.
No, because here's the thing: if KD doesn't make the playoffs, we're still debating if KD is the best player in the world. You just had a trash lineup. Mm-hmm. If he loses to Giannis with Kyrie available, now there's no debate. Giannis is ahead of KD.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And you don't want that. You don't want that smoke with me.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Marcellus, did you have any thoughts as a Knicks fan on that game?
And what am I supposed to say? I haven't been watching them play in a minute, man. There's no point. It's not really making the playoffs or anything. I thought we were up, by 20?
They're up by 21. They blew the lead.
21 and blew the lead at home. It's the Knicks.
That's surprising.
Trae Young took their heart.
I mean, Adam, it actually would have looked very bad for your Nets if without Katie and Kyrie, they win. But
And then with
and
Katie and Kyrie, they
they lose by 20.
That would have been bad. But again, it was coming off a back-to-back. But it would have been. It still would have been bad. But they got the win, so I'm multi happy about it. No harm, no foul. But yeah, that game against Cleveland is gonna be crucial. That game against Cleveland is gonna be crucial because if you could lock up home court advantage of both the playing games, that would be like ultimately be huge. So that game Friday's gonna be a busy day for both my sports teams. You got Yankees opening day and a crucial game for the Nets. That's gonna be big.
What's it called? Actually, there's an interesting stat. Kevin Durant has not lost to the Knicks since 2013.
Whoa! I did not. I never really mentioned that on the broadcast. They mentioned that on the broadcast. I remember that. Also, I don't know if you guys knew this. This may shock you. This game was the first ever game where both AD and Kyrie played at Madison Square Garden as Nets. That's crazy to think about. Like, this is the first you're thinking it happened. It didn't happen already.
Kyrie had a terrible game.
Yeah, he was not that good. He was not that good that game.
Kyrie has had two terrible games back to back now.
Yeah.
Well, not back to back.
Yeah, he scored 24 points, but he had 26 shots. That's not good. That's not good. But thankfully, him, Kevin Durant had an amazing game, 32 points, 11 to 12, and Seth Curry had a great game too, 50 points, 5 to 10 shooting.
We don't.
I will say this, Sam. I think you could completely agree with this. If the Nets are going to make like some sort of run, Seth Curry is going to play a major role in that.
Screw him.
No doubt. Seth Curry is gonna
screw him. They didn't come to the Knicks. I don't care. I don't care about Kyrie and KD. Screw him.
He chose the better franchise. Get over it, Marcellus.
Everybody knows New York as the Knicks, the Mecca. Why would you want to go to Brooklyn?
20 years of being a dumpster fire, all right?
Why would you want to go to Brooklyn?
What superstar would want to go there?
The last time
Katie and Kyrie were smart. They looked at that dumpster fire and they're like, we don't want no power of this. We don't want no power of this. We'll go to Brooklyn. We'll go to Brooklyn where they actually know how to run a basketball organization.
The last time the Nets were relevant was when they were in New Jersey.
They're relevant right now. Thank you very much.
Adam, I will say this one thing though. If Katie and Kyrie can't get their shit together, the Nets might actually be a worse franchise than the Knicks.
I will admit that if the Nets don't win a championship with Katie and Kyrie, they're going to be looked at as a bigger laughingstock than the Knicks.
Because here's the thing. They would be a franchise that would have not one, but two super team failures. You failed when you had Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Darren Williams, and Joe Johnson, who in my opinion is the most underappreciated star in our league ever. Joe Johnson was a
stud.
That team
Don't get me started about Joe Johnson. He was oh my God.
But that was a super team, and you guys didn't win. You guys lose with KD and Kyrie. That's the second super team that failed. That looks extremely bad. Because
it would not look good.
Because once if KD and Kyrie went to the Knicks with RJ Barrett and Julius Randle, that could have been a championship team, Adam.
It's scary to think about these what scenarios. It's scary to think about.
Go
ahead, Sam.
As much as I hate James Dolan and I say he's the worst franchise owner. If KD and Kyrie would have gone to the Knicks, it would have been R.J. Barrett, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Julius Randle, who we forget last year was on an All-NBA second team. And on top of that, they could have brought on
That's what I'm saying. They chose to choose the wrong team. It's okay.
We'll see. We'll see, Marcellus. We'll see. But guys, you know what time it is? Our bets of the episode. This past episode was our betting results was, let's just say, interesting. To recap. To recap. 3 people won, 3 people lost. Marcellus, you won. You had the Bucks over the Bulls. 1 game. You nailed it. You add 5.81 points. And Alex hit on a big 3-team parlay. He had a big 3-team parlay. Heat over Hornets, Celtics over Bulls, Sixers over Pacers. The only problem was that you had a 3-team parlay and you only got 12.41 points out of it.
At least it's better than 0.
Yeah, I'm sure to take that. And I had a big parlay. I had Kansas over UNC on the money line and Nets over Knicks on the money line. This is the second straight time. This is the second time where I bet the Nets over the Knicks, and the Knicks ultimately blow a lead to get me a parlay win. This is the second time I did that because that was the bet last year that ultimately got me the win, and that ultimately got me the season 1 championship. That was the bet that got me the win. And then they come through again. I add 12.61 points. But everyone else lost. Sam, you had the Pelicans over the Canes, Bucks over Bulls, UNC over Kansas. Let's tell you story, guys. Sam said he took UNC over Kansas as a troll pick, but he didn't tell me it was a troll pick, so I put it down as an official pick. And the Pelicans beat the Canes, the Bucks beat the Bulls, but UNC over Kansas ruined his parlay.
No, yeah, I was trying to troll them all, and there was a misinformation. So I kind of picked UNC when I didn't mean to pick UNC. So I'll take the punishment for trying to troll. I just hope this doesn't bite me in the ass in the future.
That is gonna go down as an epic fail in our betting segment history. That's gonna go down as an epic fail. The only bigger fail is Alex cheating. That's it. And all times where we've had where all our episodes where everyone lost. But aside from that, that's gonna go down as a fail. Kansas, Chris had Kansas over UNC on the money line and Grizzlies over Jazz. Kansas obviously won that championship, but the Jazz beat the Grizzlies. And Michael had the Knicks over the Nets and the Lakers over the Suns. His parlay was a complete and utter disaster. So, guys, our standings update is very, very interesting. Very interesting here. Marcellus, you there? Marcellus, you remain in first place.
I am here.
Marcellus, good news for you. You
place.
remain in first place. 5-3 record, 42.46 points, 9 stars. But jumping from 4th place to 2nd place is yours truly. I am in 2nd place, 4-4 record, 46.25 points. So the most points. I have the most points for 9 stars. I'm in 2nd place. If you're wondering why it's not I, because when 2 people have the same amount of stars, we go by record for a tiebreaker. So as far as the record standings are concerned, points is the tiebreaker for record, but record is the tiebreaker for stars. So just to make that clear, so I'm currently in 2nd place. Chris is in 3rd place, 4-4 record, 23.69 points and 5 stars. And Sam, my boy, you were in 2nd place. You fall out of the top 3 to 4th place. 3-5 record, 40.54 points for 5 stars. For 5 stars. And here's the good part. I really wish we had Michael on this episode because oh my god, he would freak out if we saw this. Alex is in fifth place, 2-6 record, 14.58 points with 2 stars. And guys, Michael Cunningham is in last place, 2-6 record, 12.51 points, no stars. I'm really mad that Mike's not in this episode. Imagine if we told him that to his face. Hey, Michael, you're in last place.
Good.
Too bad he's busy, too busy partying Mexico. But we do expect to have Michael on back for next episode. So no harm, no foul. All right, guys. I'm gonna make this a very quickie. So we're gonna make these bets very quick, so we're running short on time. This is a no-brainer for me because I'm good at points. I'm first place at points, so I want to start building up my record a little bit more. I want to build my record a bit more. So I'm going to take I wouldn't say easy bets, but I'm going to take some favorites. And I said before, I'm going to the game tomorrow, so it would be blessed if I need to take this. I'm taking some of the Red Sox on my line tomorrow. Opening day, you got Gerrit Cole, and I'm sure Gerrit Cole's going to be hungry to get a little bit of revenge after his poor performance in the wild card game last year. I'm pretty sure he's gonna go out there. He's gonna come out dealing and a lot of momentum. I feel confident. I'm gonna take the Yankees over the Red Sox on my line tomorrow on Friday. That's my bet. All right. I forgot to take Chris and Alex for their bets. Chris and Mike for their bets. So I'm gonna do it right now. But in the meantime, Alex, you can go.
I am going to do a 3-game parlay.
Really?
Yep.
All right. Go ahead. Give me your first one.
Phillies money line against Oakland tomorrow.
You should just stop it there. Why risk it?
What?
You should stop it there. Why risk it?
No.
All right, but if you want to do a parlay, go ahead.
Okay, these next two are both Saturday games.
Okay.
Blue Jays money line against the Rangers and Avalanche money line against Edmonton.
Okay. Blue Jays over Rangers.
Yep.
And I know you picked against the Orioles, but who are you picking again? Oh, not the Rockies, the Avalanche.
Yeah.
Over the Oilers. You're
Yep.
betting against Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Alex, I'm shaking my head at you, man. I'm shaking my head at you. I have no sympathy for you if you fall back into last place after this one.
Colorado has been hot.
They have been. Sam, you're up.
I'm choosing the Bucks and the Raptors money line.
All right. Bucks. Who are the Bucks playing?
The Pistons.
All right. Bucks over Pistons.
And then the Raptors over Houston.
Okay. Raptors over Rockets. We don't have Chris's or Michael's betting yet. So all right, Mr. Ringleader, you're up.
I'm taking my Mets spread over the Nationals.
You're taking Nets over Nationals on the spread?
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I would take them on the spread too, but I would take the Yankees on the spread, but I don't want to risk it.
I got faith in my team, man.
Okay. All right, we don't have Chris's or Michael's bet yet, so you guys want to do the usual? We just pick other teams they root for? All right, so here's what we're going to do. All right, so It's when do the Grizzlies play again?
They play on Saturday, I think.
Oh, they play Sound Pelicans and Grizzlies. Sam, I'll let you right now. If you have any set balls, you will versus Chris Grizzlies and Pelicans.
I'm not going to, just for the sheer fact that I need to get back into second.
That is true. So I'm gonna give Chris Grizzlies of a Pelicans money line. And he's a Royals fan. So who are the Royals? Did the Royals kick off their season yet? No, they didn't. So we're gonna give Chris the Royals opener. Who are the Royals playing? When do the Royals play?
The Guardians.
When is that?
It is
Saturday?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Actually, wait. I think Saturday. Yeah, Saturday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's gonna be the. Oh wait, the Royals are 1-0. They already faced the Guardians already, so it wasn't their home opener. But whatever. What are you guys gonna do again, right? Grizzlies over Pelicans money line and Royals over Guardians money line. And what are we gonna do for Michael?
Lakers and Yankees.
Let's do it. Who are the Lakers playing?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Okay, Yankees are Red Sox money line. See, that rule we put in, like, it depends on how good your team is.
Adam,
Actually, yeah.
I would add Diamondbacks money line.
Should we do that just to screw it, Michael? Should we do that? We did say we were gonna punish him because he messed up the first ever episode where all of us would have won. He did mess up. We said we were gonna punish him, but
Go ahead.
I think we punished him enough when we gave him the Knicks and the Lakers.
You know what? Am I gonna do it? I'm gonna do it. I'm giving him the Yankees, the Knicks, and the Lakers. Lakers are playing the Thunder.
Oh, Adam, I got something to say.
Yeah.
Punish him for breaking his phone.
Knicks over Wizards money line. So Michael's got the Yankees over the Red Sox, Lakers over Thunder, Knicks over Wizards. There you go. That's all for our bets, and that's all for the episode. But like you said before, I'm so excited to be going to the Yankees game tomorrow. Alex, I'm sure you're gonna be excited. And as right now, we said we're gonna do more specials. As right now, we are planning to do 2 separate vlogs. So Alex is gonna vlog his experience at the Phillies game, and I'm gonna vlog my experience at the Yankees game. Those should be up. Maybe not Friday night. It'll be up either Friday night or Saturday morning. Those should be up on our YouTube channel. So definitely once you're done listening to this episode, definitely stay tuned for that and go check that out on our YouTube channel. It's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait. As for we were trying to get Sam and Michael tickets, but Michael's in Mexico, so he can't come, and we tried getting Sam tickets, but for the tickets we wanted, they only came in pairs of 2. They didn't come in pairs of 3. For pairs of 3, it would become way more expensive, and Sam, I'm pretty sure you couldn't afford it anyway, So we do want to apologize for that, but don't worry, I am gonna take you to a game sometime this season. Don't worry about that.
I'm good.
Yeah. All right. So does anyone Oh wait, one more thing. Sammy said you had a story you wanted to tell.
No, I'll tell him next episode.
What? until next episode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a little teaser. Sam's gonna tell a story next episode. Episode 85. We was gonna do it this episode, but things got kind of cluttered, so next episode, Sam's gonna tell you a big story. So stay tuned for that and stay tuned for our next episode. But guys, that's it. This is episode 84 of the Gay Game Podcast. So yours truly, Aaron Grassani, Alex Reich, Marcellus, Murdock, and Sam Morell. Like we heard, be sure to leave a like and follow or subscribe to the podcast. Also, if you want to join the conversation, leave a comment on YouTube or reach out to us on social media. We may feature what you have to say in a future episode. Remember, my friends, those new dreams just fantasy. It's a magic world. Believe in it and dive in. See you next time, and until then, stay lit.